I think it's more than money. It is also about control. But to get to control, you need to look at all the elements that we have underutilized as black people in this country. We are the majority. We are the buying power. We have a might we've never used. We've always consumed. And every time we want to manufacture something, there are potholes that come in front of us. There is no brand in South Africa that can succeed unless black people make sure that it succeeds.
So then one of the radical transformation modalities could be that black people could reconsider what they buy, who they buy from,
yes,
who they bank with.
Yes.
You know, I understand when I came to South Africa, we have them in America, they're called, well, you call them Stokvels.
Yes.
In America, they're called, oh, my brain is going, but it's where few people put money together,
yeah,
and they'll come to me what we call it. But you know, there's so many mechanisms during apartheid, when black people weren't part of the economy at all, that you all figured out, that we figured out how to survive under those conditions. Not great, but we had black businesses. It's the same in America. Under segregation, we had black businesses more than just undertakers.
Yes.
We had a whole economy.
Yeah.
And soon as the European, in America's majority and South Africa's minority, but soon as those powers, those monopoly capitalists, found that their money was waning, then we became a necessary ingredient. So they opened up things, but as you say, they didn't open up for us to become entrepreneurs. They opened up for us to be consumers and
or
buyers
push product.
and we buy always the best name. You know, you're right. The brands would not survive. Banks would not survive
without us. But if you go back to the stock first, that's very close to my heart, because indeed our parents use that to put money together. So this time it's your turn to get a portion of the money that they will get either per week or per month, and they could pay our school fees, do all sorts of things. But the bulk of it they took to the banks. To date, the banks make between 50 and 70 billion every year from stock first. But we are unable to get that money if we want to go and build a mall as black people. We are good enough if we want to get a mortgage, if we want to buy a car, they will give us that. But if you want money out of the very Stokvel money to go and start businesses,
so you can give employment.
The answer is no.
So we can give employment, because you're not starting a business by yourself.
Yes.
You can ready to employ people.
And this is what we are saying must change. That is, to me, radical. For the people who are putting their money in their banks, they must, as from Stokvels, they must start demanding that that money works for them. And to do that, they have to be organized and speak in one voice. If the banks don't do that for them, then they must consider mutual banks, they must consider cooperative banks. But as we see more and more groups try to do that, there are more and more legislative hurdles to make it a little bit tougher for us to do that. The reality of the situation, black people can't transform alone. We need to transform the people who have benefited from our contribution throughout these years. They need to come to the table and sit with us so they understand the pain of having to go to a bank and look for money for a business. And as a black woman, all they see is risk written on my face, regardless of whether or not I'm good. As a black professional, you go there, you are trying to start a law firm, a law business, or an accountant and accounting firm. When you were working for the big ones, you were good enough until you want to start your own business. Then you become risky. So those things have to change. That's what we're talking about when we say radically transforming our economy.